It's a dark, dark day for Celtic right now, and it could be one of the worst days in recent memory, as you know. I'm a massive fan of Moussa Dembele. I've came on this channel for the last 2 seasons. I've praised him. I have refused to critique him. I have loved him like a son. But today is the day that could be spelling the end, or near the end, of Moussa Dembele's Celtic career. Now, I don't know how worried we should all get as Celtic fans. Some Celtic fans might not be worried at all, which baffles me. Absolutely baffles me, but we'll get into that. We'll get into that whole discussion. I don't know how worried we should get in general for the people who do care about Moussa Dembele leaving the club. Will he go? Will he stay? The facts are bare, but we've kind of got an outline of what the situation is right now. We could potentially be losing, in my opinion, Celtic's best player. And it would be a terrible time to do so. You know, if this was the start of the window, it'd be a completely different story. It's the fact there's 2 days left. And we'd have a lot of stuff to make up for. We'd have a lot to do to make up for the loss of Moussa Dembele. A lot of recompense. We'd have to spend wise at such a tight amount of time. It wouldn't be easy, to say the least. And we are staring down the barrel of what could be an enormously difficult time for Celtic. So the facts are simple. Lyon have confirmed. They have came out and confirmed they have interest in Moussa Dembele. The Lyon chairman or something is admitted there has been contact. And both parties are interested. Celtic, Brendan Rodgers, has confirmed that Moussa Dembele was not at training today. He has missed training. Not because of what would have been nice to hear for a change, an injury, because he is going to be heading to Parkhead, or could have already have headed to Parkhead to have discussions about his future with his agent and the club. So right now, the situation is looking like he could be off. We don't know what happened at Celtic Park or what's going to happen at Celtic Park. Peter Lawler could have sat down and says, right, do you know what? Here's a wage rise. Stay with us for another year or 2. Guarantee we'll get back into Champions League football. We'll improve the club and you'll be playing with a top side. Or he could have said, right, fair enough, we'll wait for a bid. Because no official bid has been made yet. And realistically, what's probably happened is he said, right, if a bid comes in that we find appropriate, we'll let you go. And it's sad to think like that. And it pisses me off to think like that. And it really upsets me. Like, I feel like I might have a mental breakdown when the minute fucking strikes. But it could potentially be happening. Moussa Dembele could be off. Now, this might not seem logical to a lot of Celtic fans. A lot of people might agree with me, a lot of people might not agree with me. Moussa Dembele, in my head, is the best player that we have had in a long time. When he plays his best football, he's so important. Small games, big games. A lot of people have a negative opinion on him, and I said I'll come to that. I'll come to that in a moment. If I was Peter Lawler, I would be giving Moussa Dembele everything he wants right now. In reasonable amounts. Obviously, we can't go out and give him £100,000 a week or something. We should be building the team around Moussa Dembele in my eyes. We should be giving him a contract that he is happy with, that will make him want to stay at the club, and that ultimately guarantee him a place that will make him happy. You know, like, give him the promises. Say we'll sign players. Say we'll get back into Champions League football. Give him the money. Keep him at the club at all costs. That's personally what I'd be doing if I was chairman of Celtic. But ultimately, will we see that? Probably not. Look, Celtic are a club that are in a position that we don't know if we can afford to keep Moussa Dembele around. Maybe he's getting offered £40,000-50,000 a week at Lyon, Marseille, wherever they may go. Celtic ultimately can't afford that. But would it be worth the stab in the dark to give him £40,000 a week? Would it be worth being a record-breaking player to receive wages like that? In my eyes, yes, it would. If it was financially affordable for Celtic to give Moussa Dembele £40,000 a week, it's just something we've never done before. But if Celtic can afford it, it's not going to cause us any problems. Why not do it? Why not keep a hold of what is one of the best players that we have seen at the club in recent history? He's a natural goal scorer. He's competitive. He's great in the big games. He's athletic. He's a fantastic hold-up player, which is difficult to fucking find with our strikers. Everything about Moussa Dembele is fantastic. And I'm not just coming on here and constantly sucking up the guy's arse. A lot of people probably look at me in that way and probably think that I do that. I'm just too up his arse. But it's true, and anybody who is blind to realise the quality of Moussa Dembele, I just can't understand. That's one thing. A lot of Celtic fans are like, good, take the money, let him go. Well, but that's a steal. No, it's really no. We're losing a player with so little time left in the window. What are Celtic going to do with realistically £20 million? Probably spend £1 million and bringing in somebody like fucking Stevie May. That's probably what's going to happen. You know, we're not going to make a signing who's going to have the same impact as Moussa Dembele. Ultimately, what I expect us to do is not sign anyone and cope with Edouard and Griffiths until January at least. That is realistically what would happen. I don't think we're going to go and spend money on a top striker. How many strikers are going to be interested in coming to Celtic this season, and considering the fact we've dropped out the Champions League and are in the Europa League? How many? Be honest. How many of a greater ability than Moussa Dembele are going to be interested to come to Celtic with 2 days to go when we're not even in Champions League football? I can't think of any. I can't think of any at all, in fact. £20 million, yes, I understand is a lot of money. We've got to take that into consideration. It would be record-breaking for Celtic. But in this transfer market, if we can hold on to Dembele, if he can perform massively in this Europa League, which is what we need, if he can turn up in the Europa League, score goals, make more of an impact that he already has at Celtic. We've got a big game on Sunday as well for him to create chances, score goals. If he can take these chances in these games, that transfer value can go up even further. Well, just at a difficult position for the fact we're Celtic and we can't really ask for any more than £20 million a player because other clubs view it as unreasonable because we're in Scotland. Which is ridiculous, but is ultimately what we have to deal with. Ultimately, I don't want to see the guy go. We've got a couple of days ahead now where we've got to just sit bide time and wait to see what happens. It's going to be incredibly difficult to keep a hold of him. It is. Especially if he's getting a move back to his home country. They can double his wages. He can play in a better league. Everything points in the right direction here for Moussa Dembele to move on. But if we can even keep him for another season, I would be so happy, and I think it would benefit us massively in a season in which we need to make an impact in Europe. We need to go far in the Europa League to show that this improvement, this double treble, this mystic fucking being of what has been Celtic over the last 2 years is actually something, and it's not just a bit of false hope, a bit of false buzz. I think Moussa Dembele is a massive integral part of everything. Such a key player, and we need to do our best to keep a hold of him. I know there's people who won't mind him leaving. I know there's people who probably want to see him leave. But I imagine there's a lot of people on the same fence as me here and saying he is critical to the success of Celtic, and we need to do our best to keep him around. If it was me, I'd be throwing wages at him left, right, centre. I'd be throwing incentives. I'd be giving him guarantees. If we don't meet the guarantees, fair enough, he leaves at the end of the season. As I said, I'd be happy with one more season with Moussa Dembele. It allows us a far greater time to pick out a striker who is going to come in at a reasonable quality, maybe with same amount of potential, maybe less. Just someone of equal quality that can replace Moussa Dembele going forward. We don't have enough time to pick out a striker and do that now because we've been focused so much on improving that fucking shit show of a back line. So now, with 2 days to go out and ask for a striker who's going to score as many goals as Moussa Dembele, do as much as Moussa Dembele, is just absolutely absurd to me. I just don't think it's going to happen in the space of 2 days. We've first got to wait for a bid. He might not even leave. We might be all getting our fucking knickers in a twist for nothing. He might not leave. He might end up staying at Celtic. We might be all fucking happy come Sunday when he scores a hat-trick into Rangers in an ideal world. But in the case that he does leave, we are in a massive hole here. We've got 2 days in which Peter Law will be reluctant to spend money and we'll end up bringing in a striker. And I know that might sound hypocritical. Bringing a striker who costs 500 grand is not good enough. At the end of the day, Moussa Dembele came in a free transfer, basically. So we could bring in another player for a similar fee, or for free or whatever, a young guy who could be just as good. We got Edouard initially in a loan, spent £9 million on him, so we got him in a loan, we might bring in someone else in a loan. And it might be of good quality. But I just don't believe we can find someone that is like Moussa Dembele. Tell me I'm sucking up his arse, I don't care. I literally could not give a shit, because he needs to stay Celtic. The signed shirt that I have in the wall, I paid £100 for that, Moussa. Stay at the fucking club. Look, honestly, it's all up to him. It's his career. He gets to pick what he wants to do, and there's no need for us to hold him back, but we should at least put in a battle to make him want to stay at Celtic. There's got to be some sort of way we can make him feel like he can be at home at Celtic for the next season or two. A new contract should be on the cards. That's all I'm saying. That's what I want. We'll see where the story develops, where it goes over the next couple of days, I suppose. In reality, if Lyon do make an official bid and Celtic see it as a sufficient amount of money, contract talks are going to be done like that. Moussa will be gone. I think the only thing that's going to stand in between is the board and how much money they want. I think Moussa Dembele will want this move if it can happen. So let's just cross our fingers and hope something happens that makes him want to stay at Celtic. Look, he's got his pals, he's got Eddie, he's got Olivier. Stay. Do it for me, Moussa. I will genuinely, if you leave, I will make a fucking video of me singing Goodbye My Lover. I will do a cover on my fucking I better not promise that, actually. I may as well end the video now before I go any further with that promise. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've enjoyed, like and subscribe. Let me know your opinions to the Moussa Dembele fiasco. Stay at the club, please. See y'all. next time.